श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय।
जय। Namaskar, Sadhak Bandhu. I am Pranav Bansode, aka PK, and we have Maruti Revankar, aka Kalasu. As we know, we have started Abhang Katha, the special season for stories which were covered in Abhang Charcha in Marathi language. Now we will be talking about them in English. So other Sadhak Bandhus who have requested that they do not understand Marathi as a language, so they can also understand. So they had requested that for their kids, and with their request, we have already begun this season, and we have discussed about Parikshiti King, and we had left, we had stopped in between, and we're gonna continue the story. So I hand over it to Maruti, so he can take it, give a small recap about the last part, and then begin with the continuation with the story today.
Hello everyone, Maruti Revankar here, and we were listening to the story of King Parikshiti in the last episode, where we found that he was doing Nagar Parikshan, that he was going through his kingdom to find out how the administration is going. And there is a metaphorical story where a farmer is plowing his farmland, and there is a cow in the corner who is crying because her son, that is the bull or the bullock, he has only one leg, and with that one leg itself, he is trying to plow the field, and the farmer on top of that is hitting the bullock with the hunter, which invariably meant that the farmer was Kali himself, because it was the Kali Yuga was going to start now. The cow, which was there, it signified the mother earth, and the bull signified dharma. Dharma has four legs, out of which only the truth is imperishable, and therefore he had only one leg. The other legs of tapa, tyaga, vairagya, or shila and all do not exist anymore in the Kali Yuga. So it was just symbolic, it was metaphorical. At that point of time, Parikshit tries to kill Kali, and Kali comes, surrenders in front of the king, and he says, give me place to stay and work, because now the Kali Yuga is starting and I have to do my work. I have to enter your kingdom and start doing my work. So he gives him 4 or 5 places to stay. One is Madiralaya, which means the place where the alcohol is sold. Mansalaya, where the flesh or the meat is sold. Dhyutalaya, casino, or where gambling is done. Veshalaya, which is where the brothel, or where prostitution is carried out. And the fifth one, he says, these are all places where people seldom visit, not everybody visits. So give me a place where I can spread my business, I can do my work. He says you can stay in the wealth. So here, when he says wealth, he means wealth that is accumulated by adharma, or incorrect means, immoral means. By that, dishonest means when you accumulate wealth, in that wealth you can stay. So he says that he goes back to the palace. King Parikshit returns to his palace, and one day what he does is he enters his storeroom and starts looking at the wealth. There is huge amount of wealth which is there in the palace, because the Pandavas during the Rajasuya Yajna, Ashwamedha Yajna, Parikshit himself did. Some people say that he performed around 100 Ashwamedha Yajnas and all. So there is huge amount of wealth that is stored there. And while looking at all of that, he sees a beautiful crown which is kept there, and he says, oh, this is so beautiful, why is it lying down there, I should wear it. So he takes that and he wears it, and this is the moment that the Kali gets. So now the Kali is residing in that wealth. So at that point of time, he says he can reside in the gold, because gold was the wealth. The amount of gold that you accumulate was the wealth. The coins were also of gold. Everything was done in gold during that time. And now that crown is also made of gold, and the Kali is residing. He takes that crown and he wears. Now people ask, in the Pandavas' wealth and storeroom, how come there is wealth that is accumulated by dishonest means. Were Pandavas also corrupt or anything? No, the problem was that they fought with Jarasandha, who was a demonish king, who was not a king who was celebrated for his practices. They say that he practiced Narabali and all. He sacrificed human beings for his own good. So he had when once they fought and defeated him, they brought his crown and put that in the storeroom. So it was his crown, and that was, of course, accumulated or obtained with dishonest means because it was Jarasandha's wealth. Now he wears that, and the moment he wears that, the Kali has started his game. So what he does is he thinks, oh, I should go for hunting. And we find this in multiple mythological stories. The moment somebody goes on hunting, something wrong happens there. So what they do is he goes for hunting, and he goes into the jungle with his entire army and all of that. He tries for a very long time, very long time. He doesn't get even a single animal. So he's now already frustrated, and it is summer. So there is hot sun, and he's thirsty. So he starts looking for water. He doesn't get any water or anything. So he keeps looking, and he finds a small hut in front of him. Now that hut belongs to uh, a Rishi or a sage by the name Shramika. So it's a Shramik Rishi's ashram. He enters the ashram, and at that point of time, he's come from the hot sun. So once from the sun you get inside, there is darkness in front of your eyes. You are not able to see anything. So he doesn't see anything. He only sees a pot where there is water. He takes that and he drinks. So once he's calmed down and his eyes starts functioning properly, and then he looks around. He stays Shramik Rishi is sitting there in the meditation, and uh, now the Kali is playing his game. So his ego is hit, and he says, "I am the king of such a huge empire. I have entered Shramik his ashram, and this sage, instead of welcoming me and instead of asking me for water or anything, this guy is sitting and meditating. He has purposely done it to embarrass me, to insult me." The negative, the pessimistic thought enters first because he's wearing that crown and the Kali is functioning, and the brain is just here. So easy access. So he does that, and he thinks, okay, now this person has insulted me. I'll teach him a lesson. So with that anger, he walks out of the ashram. He finds a dead snake there. So what he does is with his arrow, he picks up the dead snake, brings and puts that in Shramik Rishi's neck and goes away. Now his deed is done. He goes to the palace and takes hunting is done. Like he is not able to hunt, and the entire exercise is over. He removes and he keeps that. Now he realizes, oh my god, what did I do? Because now the crown is gone and the Kali's catch over him is loosened. So he thinks, what I have done. Now here in the ashram, what happens is uh, Shrungi Rishi, who is the son of Shramik Rishi, comes. He had gone out for some anushthan or something. He enters and he says, "Oh my God, who has done this? Who has insulted my father by putting a dead snake in his neck?" He doesn't even think twice. And he says, "The person who has done this to my father, has insulted my father by putting a dead snake in his neck. I curse him that in 7 days he will die by the bite of a snake by the name Takshaka. तक्षक दंश से वो 7 दिन में उसकी मृत्यु हो जाएगी." He gives that curse, he gives that shrap, and at that point of time, Shramik Rishi comes out of his meditative state, and he sees, oh, who has put this? He doesn't bother. He's an enlightened person. He just removes and throws, and he sees Shrungi Rishi, his son. At that point of time, the Shrungi Rishi's eyes are red with anger. And he thinks, what happened? Why is he so angry? He does antar dhyana and he finds out what has happened. So at that point of time, when he just closes his eyes, the entire thing that happened when he was in the meditative state comes in front of his eyes, and now he knows what has happened, and he's like, "Oh, now Parikshit is going to die in 7 days." He feels very bad that first of all, it is so difficult to even get human body. 84 lakh yoni फिरता, we say after 84 lakh yonis we get human body, manushya yoni, and that too without achieving anything. Parikshit is going to just die in 7 days. So he calls his one of his pupil by the name Gauramukh, and he tells, go and tell Parikshit, go at once, go to the kingdom of Parikshit and tell him, enter his palace at once and tell him that he's going to die in 7 days. He just has 7 days to achieve whatever he wants to achieve, means to get enlightened and to the best of the opportunity that has been presented to him in the form of the human body. मानव शरीर का जो सार्थक करना है अभी 7 दिन में ही करना है, उसके बाद तुम्हारे पास एक क्षण का भी समय नहीं है. So he gives this warning. The Gauramukh goes to his palace, gives his warning, and comes back. Parikshit is now, he is in deep regret, he's in grief. It's like saying, 7 days I'm going to die now. What should I do? What way should I do? What will I do? What will I do? At that point of time, Narad Muni comes and he says, Parikshiti, do not worry. Invite Shukadev and listen to the Bhagavatam, his Upadesh from his mouth, his divine Vani. Listen to it, and that will help you to fulfill your kartavya, or attain the supreme upliftment, spiritual upliftment from him. So Parikshiti does that. Parikshiti starts singing the praises of Shukamuni, and Shukamuni then appears in front of him with the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Grantha, the divine Grantha, the book of Srimad Bhagavatam, and as he is always going around telling the divine Bhagavad Katha. So he comes with his Bhagavad Katha and appears in front of Parikshiti. Parikshiti says, Munishwar, I only have 7 days now. Give me the utmost knowledge that I have to achieve. Shukadev says a beautiful sentence at that point of time. He says, Parikshiti, don't think that only you have 7 days. Everybody in this world has only 7 days. From Sunday to Saturday, there are only 7 days. There is no eighth day available. Everybody has to achieve what they have to achieve in 7 days. You are lucky that at least you know when your death is going to come. Others do not know that the death is going to come. They are living as if they are going to live forever. They are living like morons. You have at least realized, you have awakened, and you are lucky about that. You at least know that the death is going to come for 7 days, which means for 7 days you are not going to die. For others, that chance also is not there. They might die at this moment. They might die tomorrow also. They don't know. You at least know that for 6-7 days you are going to be alive. You are not going to die in between. So you are a lucky person who at least knows that. So he says that on the banks of river Ganga, they erect a huge iron pillar. On top of that, there is a palace, a room kind of thing which is built. Inside that, Parikshiti and Shukadev sit, and Shukadev starts telling Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshiti. The entire Bhagavad Katha is huge. That cannot be told in this story. That probably people try and tell bits and pieces of that in some other, but the entire Bhagavatam is told there. And outside there is protection. There are mantrikas and everything who can immediately who have the medicine, antidote of different types of poisons, of different types of snakes who were prevalent on at that point of time. And there was also a advertisement given everywhere saying that on the 7th day Parikshit is going to die by Takshak Dansha, the bite of the snake Takshaka. Whoever can has the antidote for that poison will be given huge amount of wealth. So listening to this advertisement, a mantrika by the name Kashyapa starts walking towards the kingdom, the capital of Parikshiti, which was Indraprastha at that point of time. Now it is in Uttar Pradesh, Delhi, and that region. So Kashyapa starts walking towards the kingdom. In between, Takshaka stops him. Takshaka has taken the form of a Takshaka, who is a snake, who Takshaka is very poisonous and a very powerful snake from the Nagaloka, by the way. He has taken the guise of a Brahmana and he stops him. He says, इतनी जल्दी जल्दी में कहाँ जा रहे हो? Where are you running like this? He says Parikshit is going to get bitten by the Takshaka and I have the antidote for it. Oh, you have the antidote for the fearful, poisonous, dangerous snake of Takshaka? Let me see. I am only that Takshaka. Show me your power. He says, and he goes and bites the tree. Now, that tree is a huge tree. I think it's the people tree. Or the Manya. People tree only. And a Brahmin is sitting on that, plucking the leaves of that tree. The moment Takshaka bites that tree, the entire tree burns into flames, and along with the Brahmana, in split second, it turns into ashes. It doesn't exist only. The huge people tree, along with the Brahmana, turns up into ashes in seconds. Uh, and now Takshaka says, okay, Kashyap, now show your mantrika power. He takes some water in his hands and he says some mantras and he sprinkles it on those ashes. This next moment itself, the entire tree, along with the Brahmana, reappears in front of him. Takshaka is impressed. He's like, oh my God, this person really has the antidote for my poison. He says, no, you cannot go to the capital Indraprastha of Parikshiti. It's a curse from a Rishi. वो ऋषि का शाप है, वो असत्य नहीं हो सकता. It can never become a lie. It has to take place. We cannot stop it from happening. Then he says, that is okay, but I'm a very poor fellow. I need the wealth for my livelihood, for my survival, and Parikshit is going to give me that. He says, do not worry about that. And he takes him to a cave and opens the cave and shows him the entire cave is filled with gold and so much of wealth. He says, Kashyap, I can take all of this and go back. I have to go to the kingdom. You do not go to the Parikshiti's kingdom, that is Indraprastha. Now Takshaka goes to the banks of river Ganga, where Shukamuni and Parikshiti Samvad is going on. The Bhagavad is being told. It's already the 7th day. The entire Bhagavad is over and Parikshit is now enlightened. Shukadev says, now my work is over. Now it doesn't matter whether you die or not, because the death is only for your body. Your Atma has already attained the spiritual upliftment. He says, okay, he offers his prayers to Shukadev and Shukadev disappears. Here, Parikshit is now sitting alone in that palace, in that room, which is standing on the iron pillar. And Takshaka, along with his people, who are all dressed up like Brahmins, who are in disguise of Brahmins, come with an entire plate full of fruits. There are different fruits. They keep and they tell the guards that we are all Brahmins who have come to offer these fruits to Parikshiti. At that point of time, the Brahmins were always higher in the society, and Parikshiti is a Kshatriya, so Brahmins are allowed to enter freely into the Kshatriya house. They cannot be stopped. So the guards do not stop them. They let them enter. They come, they go, and they. Now, what has happened is the other people of Takshaka, they are Brahmins, and they are having all those fruits. In one of the fruit, which is generally in Marathi and we call it the boar. I don't know what it's called. It's a kind of a berry, huge one. Inside that, we generally, if it is in some of those berries, we find small worms inside. So Takshaka is sitting in the inside that in the form of a worm. They go there, they go and offer that to Parikshiti. Now the time when the curse has to take place has already arrived. So among all the fruits, Parikshiti picks up that berry and he eats. The moment he takes the first bite, the worm comes out. Takshaka comes in his snake form, the serpent form, and he bites Parikshiti. The entire iron pillar, the house, along with the Parikshiti, turns into ashes and it disappears. Parikshiti, of course, he is enlightened, so he travels to the heavenly abode. his body along with that turns into ashes and falls on the river bank. Now the story has many facets to it and many things to offer, but the main thing that my guru told me has told to all of us in her book is the main moral is if you can do good to some people, if you can do paropakara, if you can help somebody, of course, go ahead and help, do something for good to people. If you cannot do that, just stay neutral. At least don't cause trouble to others. Because the moment you cause trouble to others, you are bound to pay for your sins. That's the story that is told. And of course, the story goes in the form of, I don't, in the first part, as we said, Parikshiti's son Janmejaya is ruling and he asks for the story. So Vaishnampayana tells it to him and he says, Janmejaya, this is something that you have to remember for your life. If you're ruling as an emperor, if you can do good for the people, do it. If you cannot do, at least stay neutral. Do not go ahead and hurt anybody. Do not get emboldened by your, do not get encouraged by your ego. Do not hurt. And of course, the story of Kali and his Prabhava is there. He is prevalent and he acts strongly in places where the alcohol is sold, where the prostitution is carried out, where the flesh is carried out, selling of the flesh is carried out, and where gambling is done. Wherever there are immoral, non-religious, parliamentary, or non-humanic, non-noble activities carried out, he is prevalent. We need to stay away from all the places. At least limit ourselves if they are part of our activities. As long as possible, we have to try and stay away from it and try not to hurt. Parapida yahi paap hai. Parapida in any form, hurting anybody is a sin, and we have to stay away in all cases, from the smallest to the largest one. We have to stay away from causing harm or hurting anybody on this planet. That's the moral of the story. Next episode, we'll come back with a new story and try to upload on this on our channel. It is like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like listening to all those beautiful stories. They have wonderful morals as well. And we will see you again in the next video. Until then, listen to stories, try to tell us in the comment section which more stories you would like to hear from us, and stay connected. Thank you so much and namaskar. Shri Sundarinath Maharaj ki Jai.